Hi, this is Dr. Scott Young, and today is, oh God, I just lost it. It is September 24th. It is Rosh Hashanah. Now, why is it Rosh Hashanah 2 days? Because, very interesting, it was the day that no man knows. And you go, well, wait, isn't that like in the Bible in Matthew 20:24? Yeah, it is. But it's not exactly what you think. Now, when Jesus said the day that no man knows, what he was talking about is that no man knows the day or the hour. And he wasn't talking about Rosh Hashanah because he was making an allusion to he was talking to Matthew, he was talking to John and some of the disciples, and he was making a conversation about end time issues. Now, so people go, well, yeah, but that's what he's talking about. No, 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 he wasn't going there. And so, what is Rosh Hashanah? And I'm trying to make this a shorter video because some people don't always watch my longer videos. Rosh Hashanah is Feast of Trumpets. Feast of Trumpets is part of a 3 points of the fall feasts. Okay, it is part of the two feasts, and it is the one that has to you start to get right with the people around you and the people of God, your neighbors around you. It is for the Jews. It is not for the Gentiles. And so I'm not trying to pile on with those people who are going, but I thought we were supposed to be raptured today. Hey, listen, I want more than almost anyone you know to be in heaven. I cannot wait for the day to be in heaven. Almost, what is it, 2 weeks ago, Charlie Kirk was killed. Um, in many ways, I know this sounds kind of crazy. 99% of the population is is scared to die. I almost 6 years ago went through my own near-death experience. I promise you, I'm not scared to die. 100%, I'm not scared to die. When you go through a near-death experience, you are not scared to die. If you were to sit in front of Charlie Kirk and even 5 seconds before Charlie Kirk died and said, you're gonna be killed. And some of you don't believe that he was killed. Promise you he died. But if you were to sit in front of him and said, you're about to be killed, I promise you, he'd say, I'm not scared to die. To live is Christ, to die is gain. And if you, because to be translated to be with the Lord is a wonderful experience. I had a friend of mine that he died in October 1st of 2020. And he is one of the reasons why I know so much about a lot of the Nasara stuff that we've talked about. And many of you watch me on the channels for this kind of stuff. But he was so terrified to go to heaven, and he was a very strong believer. But because he hadn't spent enough time, he was so focused on planetary issues, he wasn't focused on issues of heaven. And he hadn't really understood heavenly issues. But when you really study the Bible, it is to live as Christ, to die is to have a gain issue. I am super excited to be in heaven. So listen, I am not trying to like pile on those people who are really upset about this issue. But I want to show you why Rosh Hashanah is not the issue of the rapture, because what it was meant for is something very different. So I've kind of moved this thing forward. Now, if you ever want to get this thing, this is on drscottyoung.com. You can download this thing called The Hope in the Last Days. It is a banner. Now, if you have an elongated uh, monitor, it's actually easier if you have a long dated, but if you have a smaller one, you can have this as a free download. Doesn't cost you anything. You just put your name in your email and you download this for free. People ask, always trying to, you can donate if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay. So I'm just being really honest with that. This took me 18 months to put together. It's one of the hardest things I ever did. Okay. And so this is incredibly difficult kind of thing to put together. So I'm showing you in deeper detail. Now, there's a lower section, and the lower sections in red, like the more difficult ones, right? This is the bad stuff that goes on in the earth, right? The black one. The upper stuff is in kind of purple, okay? And that's the better things of the world. The pre-tribulation rapture of the bride, and that's how I talk about that, is in 1 Thessalonians 4:16. Now, there are a whole bunch of different conversations about that. It happens before the tribulation because the tribulation is about what? The Jews. You see, the fulfillment of the tribulation is always about the Jews. So to think that that Rosh Hashanah is fulfilling the church is a complete misunderstanding, because the beginning of the tribulation is the time clock of what? The Antichrist. So the start of this thing happens when we have an introduction of the Antichrist, Daniel 9:27, or Revelation 4:1. So when we start to see, or excuse me, Revelation 6:2, excuse me, Revelation 6:2 is in this kind of time frame, and we see that first seal opened up is the first beast, and then we get into the second beast. That's when we get into those kinds of things. So never would we see that particular idea of Rosh Hashanah. So and I'm going to show you some other kind of cool things on Friday if you guys want to see more about some really interesting points. But this gives you a lot of cool things. Now, by the way, the rapture of the church is a very powerful teaching that I get into a lot deeper things. And there's a whole cool amounts of information in here that you can download and learn a lot from. I have books that talk about it. In the background, I actually have a book here. It's called Rapture. Could They Be More Than One? I explain that in much greater detail. But why didn't the rapture occur today or yesterday? It's because Rosh Hashanah was meant for the Jews, not for the Gentiles. I don't care whether Brother Joshua or anyone ever dreamed of this date. Trust me, it is not about those date setters, because, again, even though Jesus kind of inferred it a little bit, guess what? No one knows the day or the hour. And actually, that is a perfect statement to look at this. Stop looking for date setting. Look for an expectation of a time frame to come. You're never going to know it, but you're going to have a clue of the seasons to come. Thanks so much.